most of you recognize her as Lola Kutti. She was also Wonder Menon is the name of her Amazon show, and also she was with me on the Harsha Bhogle podcast, which is also super fun. Please give a round of applause for Anu Menon. Anu Menon is here. Wait, I have to find a glass.
Hello.
Hi.
DK, I just want to tell you that you don't know this, but now you will, because I will tell you that my 7-year-old son and Dinesh Karthik share the same hairstylist. This has been my claim to fame. So Dinesh Karthik has Natasha and so does Ayan Mehta. And I'm like, see, my son moves in esteemed circles.
Oh, wow. Natasha is a very, very good, more than a hairstylist, I think she's a very close, dear friend of mine. That's the more important part. And her husband has played a massive influence on my life. So obviously,
yes, exactly.
Like
and I'm the other Malayali connect in her life, apart from, of course, Mr.
Malayali,
Abhishek Nair.
I'm also very close to all Malayalis because I've married into a Malayali family. So you know how it is.
Yes, Deepika's cousin is Arpita, my college friend. So it's all like, it's too many layers. And I've even come to the apartment in St. John's Wood that you were living at during the World Cup. And Dinesh Karthik and his wife were just, by the way, just off to Wimbledon because they were in the Royal Box to watch Roger Federer play. You know, the usual. I mean, I was not jealous or anything. Why would I be? So I'd gone to meet Arpita and she said, oh my God, they just left. And Natasha was there as well. I was like, just see.
In the same vein, I must say that, I watched a lot of Lola Kutti shows on MTV. I've enjoyed it. So, you are a fan here as well.
Thanks. Yeah. Stop it now.
By the way, to connect to this family thing, okay, I got a message from my dad, okay, which is already going to be something strange. This is my dad's message. Your video with Harsha was long, 1 hour 28 minutes. I'm yet to watch it. Thank you, Papa. And he's like, I will now with Karthik. Long back 10 or 12 years, I was in a flight in economy. Karthik was also there in the economy, same row but other side. He seemed unconcerned about class and all. I'm like, I don't know what that implies, but this is my dad's message. And then he said, I don't know, this is actually an interesting bit of tidbit, which is, I read somewhere that Karthik's mother used to work with ONGC, but resigned from a job to look after Karthik. Is that an actual fact? Or?
Yeah. Your dad is a very man who does his research properly. It is
way more than I do.
Yeah. You should share this platform. I think we should get him on here as well. But my mom was working in ONGC in a pretty serious post. She was a CFO at that stage, and CFO financials for all of the South. That's how they deal with it. And at a point it came that she had to do her mother duties. A, handling me because I was in Chennai, and B, my brother who was in Kuwait with my dad. So it was like she had to share her responsibilities between me and him. So she used to go every month. She used to be here. She used to be there. So she was somebody who used to travel a lot. And hence had to give up a job at some point of time.
Do you enjoy captaincy? Sorry, do you enjoy it, or do you is it like a lot of pressure? Because everyone always says, no, this Dinesh Karthik is such a nice guy. Do you get tired of being the nice guy? Or do you just thrive on being the nice guy?
I don't make an effort to be a nice guy. I just try to be myself. A lot of time people feel, oh my God, you look at him. He's very different when he's the captain. He's shouting. He's so animated. But that is me as a personality. I don't want to stop myself from being the person that I am. Being a captain is a privilege, I think, more than anything. I've been wanting to be a captain, and, KKR has luckily given me the platform to be a captain. And it's one of the top franchises in the league as well. And, it's an absolute honor for me to, represent them as a captain. So it's something that I thoroughly enjoy, but it's got its pressures. There's no doubt. I mean, being the best, one of the top franchises, the pressure that comes along with it is the fact that you expected to, go to a final every time you play the tournament. So, there is pressure. There is no doubt about it.
Do you feel bad every time you look at Shah Rukh Khan's face? Because I'm a CSK supporter. So I grew up in Chennai, obviously. But I feel guilty every time. Like if KKR loses a match because the camera pans to Shah Rukh and he looks like he's going to cry, then I'll also be like, ayo, palm. I think this is why now he wears sunglasses in the stadium. So no one can see his face. I was like, do you also feel guilt-ridden? Because Shah Rukh Khan has that effect on you,
And this year, at least, that problem, unless they have a camera and Mannat, I don't think that problem will be there. Or he's on a Zoom call watching the match. But he's a terrific owner. He's a terrific human being as well. The little interactions that I've had with him, amazingly warm, extraordinarily, humble in all ways possible. And I'm a big fan of let's play. I wasn't a massive fan of his before I played KKR, but I really respected him for the fact that he was one of those outsiders from the industry and came in and carved an absolute niche for himself. But I've become the biggest fan of him from the time I've met him. I think he's a warm, genuine human being, and it's an absolute privilege being a captain for him.
I have a question. I think Harsha, when Harsha was here the other day, he basically said that franchisees take care of their players better than the parents do. So I'm actually curious about any examples that you would have of, and KKR seems to be precisely in that mold. So are there any examples of like whether it's you or another cricketer where the franchise just stepped in and been like really, really beyond what is expected?
Yeah, I can give you a numerous occasions. I think KKR is one of those balanced South Indian parents. They treat you the same, irrespective of whether you are winning or losing. Their love and affection towards you is almost consistent. Last year we lost 6 matches on the trot. Generally, most parents will be like, "Come on, now get up. We'll find new players. Go out of this place." But they were still like the same warm people that they always are, which is very important for me as a person, because I believe that it's important to be neutral irrespective of the results, because everybody's trying out here. But as I said, I can give you so many examples. Russell was, wasn't allowed to play cricket for a year or two, and KKR was out there supporting him consistently, in all ways possible. Sunil Narayan sometimes had an elbow issue, and it is not the franchise's duty to take care of him or send him for a surgery or all that. Again, they did it. Kamlesh Nagarkoti, when he went to England, was taken care of. I can give you innumerable, just the fact that they're looking out for a cricketer to improve. Apart from the IPL season, having what is called the KKR Academy, spending money on the players. I mean, they're trying to make them better players for Ranji Trophy, which they don't need to be bothered. I mean, why would a franchise be bothered if that guy does well in red ball cricket or not? I can understand they're trying to make him a better cricketer in T20, but they make an honest effort, in having camps for that boy to become a better cricketer at Ranji Trophy and become an all-round better cricketer. And those are things that I really value as a franchisee, because it's very easy in this corporate cutthroat world to just be like calm se calm out of an attitude, but they really look out for the welfare of you as a person and a cricketer.
Have you ever felt like being part of different franchises, like there's the level of involvement of the owner, say match to match, has that varied, or they pretty much like stayed out of your workspace, as it were?
Different franchises have different ways of working, to be honest. I think when it comes to KKR, they've been consistent how they are, in how they operate. I think they try and choose the best people to do each profile. Basically, they try and get the best coach according to them, the best assistant coach, the best fielding coach, the best captain, the best players, and then they leave it. They leave it to the technicians to take care of the additions. If it is in terms of playing a team, it will be between me and my coach and probably my vice captain, and that's it. And they won't interfere in that. They don't. They just. But what they do is they do proper, groundwork and research in trying to hire the right people. And once they've done that, they trust them and they give them an opportunity to, express themselves and not interfere in every decision.
I have a this is a weird, this is like a value education question. This is a moral science question that I have for both of you. Okay. So there's a lady, she's in her house and a robber tries to enter her house, and to ensure that the robber doesn't steal anything from her, she basically hits him with a stick and kicks him out of the house. Right. So that's the right action, right? It's the right response. Is it? I'm just asking. The reason I'm asking is that I still don't understand why Mankading is a big deal. I've not understood. Like, I think over the last few weeks, they've been like more and more people coming out and saying, we don't understand why this is such a hard thing to explain, that essentially you're trying to rob a run. And you've come out in Javagal Srinath has come, Harsha Bhogle, multiple people have suddenly started coming out. So do you want to talk about Mankading for a second? I'm curious.
Yeah. No, I've spoken about this on a couple of platforms, so there's no reason why I shouldn't speak. I've given my opinion out there. I think it's completely okay. Yeah. I think the spirit of cricket is, as I said, has a lot of gray area, and people tend to use it according to their comfort. But, I wouldn't, the problem I have with Mankading is when bowlers do it, they're literally accused of their character, of their personality. They get too personal with it. I think it's another mode of dismissal, and it is accepted by ICC and it is within the rules. So, I don't understand why the huge fuss about it.
And I don't understand why a warning has to be given. It's like as a wicketkeeper, you don't tell the batsman like, "Hey, wapas jayega to karega, I'm stumping." Like, why do you have to give a warning? Just stay in your crease. So I always found that very, very strange that a warning has to be issued. So yeah. And by the way, I think the most interesting thing about the last year has been because everybody's had more time to contemplate about it. Like especially in the last 3 months, there's been a lot more people like coming out for it as opposed to the previous thing. Yeah, Anu, you were saying your face looks.
Dinesh,
like
I
something
just
same.
want to know that if you are willing to go on record today as someone who studied in Don Bosco, Chennai, and admit that Good Shepherd girls and Church Park girls fought for the love of Don Bosco boys. Are you willing to go on record and say it, Dinesh Karthik?
I think so, isn't it? It's a bit of a fact. I'm sure you've done it as well. You've been part
Because
of that.
I was a Good Shepherd girl who didn't do it, so I know. Also, how is Brendan McCullum? It's the first time he's coach, right? For all this season.
Yeah, for KKR.
Yeah.
He's a fabulous guy. I get along very well with him. He's got a great sense of humor. The lovely guy. New Zealanders are very nice. In New Zealand, there are more sheep than human beings, so they are very nice.
Just have you ever asked him about those tattoos and whether he just made them himself? Do you ever feel those little low quality tattoos? I felt I don't understand why.
Low quality is actually of very highest quality. I feel he's got his date of birth. He's got his children's names. He's got his favorite.
Some weird map and all there is.
Map is I think all the countries that he's visited. Then he has a horse, which is his passion. He has a 20-acre farm that he lives on, where he breeds horses and he wants to send them to races, and he's serious into that, and he spends a lot of money on that.
Yeah, I just saw photographs of Brendan McCullum's tattoo, and I have to agree with DK. This seems high quality stuff, man. Anu, I mean, you're just being like dismissive of the KKR's coach's tattoos for no reason.
No, he is lovely, but I'm just a tattoos are a bit suspect if you ask me. I was like, should we trust a man with these tattoos?